Hello, Ugly Mug fans. It is me, Lydia, and I am super, super excited today to join you and come with this interview. I'm here with Terry Secrest with RoyOMartin. Terry is the Executive Vice President of Manufacturing and Sales. And today I wanted to chat with him a little bit, mostly about how RoyOMartin has been affected by COVID-19, what their work kind of looks like now that we're kind of phasing back into a normal state of work and life. And I thought it would be really interesting to chat with him today just because if you've kept up with our interviews so far, most of them have been more of a smaller business mindset, which is amazing. But I wanted to chat with someone who represented someone like RoyOMartin, a bigger business in our local community. So before I get Terry to talk with us today, I actually wanted to give a little plug. Terry was just featured in a video if you go to the RoyOMartin Facebook page. And him and his wife talked about their journey with her breast cancer. She's cancer-free 6 years. You can hear all about it if you go watch the video, but I wanted to urge you to go watch the video. It's really great. And they are kind of urging people to sign up for their virtual Relay for Life. So I think I'm having some internet connection troubles, but that's okay. We're just going to roll. So again, go watch that video if you can. Participate in the virtual Relay for Life if possible. That would be amazing. Just wanted to kind of start that out and do that little plug. But Terry, how are you doing today?
I'm great, and thank you so much for that plug and intro to the Relay for Life. It's a very important cause. Cancer takes so many lives, and research is the only way that we're going to eliminate it.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. All right. Well, we are just gonna jump into these questions here. Terry, tell us a little bit about how COVID-19 affected RoyOMartin at the very beginning, and what were ways that RoyOMartin had to adjust?
Sure. Just a kind of a quick overview. Just our company, is headquartered here at the home office in Alexandria, where we've got about 75, 80 employees located. We have a large facility about 35 miles up Interstate 49 at Chopin that's got around 700. Mm-hmm. Another facility just north of Oakdale that's got about 165 employees. And a third one, our newest one, in East Texas, about 3 hours from here, that's got another 165 employees.
Wow.
So for me and two of our top leaders were in Atlanta second week of March for a conference when the world started changing rapidly. We flew home that Friday morning, and that's when Governor Edwards made the announcement that starting Sunday we'd be on stay-at-home order. And we immediately leapt into action. We created kind of what I call a quick hit type team.
Yeah.
And it was involved our top executive leadership. We have our own health services team. We have a nurse at each facility, and we have our own clinic. Mm-hmm. So we included all those people, human resources, on how do we affect this. And we were meeting. Most of the time, we learned real fast how to have virtual meetings.
Yeah.
Because that was something that we were not real in tune with.
Yeah.
And we started meeting 2 and 3 times a day, and we started changing things immediately. Social distancing. We changed the way people had to accomplish tasks. Mm-hmm. We immediately implemented changes in our break rooms. Before, especially at Chopin, you may have 30 people in a break room at a given time.
Yeah.
And we were limited now 5. What were we going to do?
Yeah.
And so we had to make a lot of quick changes. We took break rooms and partitioned them off into 4s. And so you have 4 rooms in one. We took training rooms and stopped training in there and created a place for people to have breaks. We set tents up.
Wow.
So we did a lot of things like that to make sure we could follow the social distancing. We implemented very stringent sanitization procedures to where first we had to educate the people on why it was so important, and then we had to put procedures in place that verified they did it and when they did it. And the big thing, Lydia, that I'd say that we did the most of was just communicate.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and I mean, just hearing some of those adjustments you had to make, I think that's probably something that maybe people in a smaller business mindset, like myself, our office, we really only have like 8 employees at most at a time, and we now have like 4 rooms. So we're pretty spread out. We can be spread pretty thin, but in an industrial plant, when you have 600 people, like you said, I'm sure that that was probably a little stressful that first week or so.
And as you remember, the CDC guidelines were evolving almost daily about what to do. And so Colleen Ben Mall, our head nurse, she really was tasked with, what is the CDC saying now?
Yeah.
And then our Dr. Elkins at the clinic, he was very in tune with that. And so, but under their medical guidance, that helped us in the leadership roles determine, what do we need to do? How do we need to react? And we reacted quickly, very quickly.
Yeah.
We had a lot of conversations with people in our industry, people in the local community, and we always felt like we were at or ahead of most people with how we were addressing our people's concerns.
Yeah, definitely. So I know those were definitely some changes that had to be made pretty immediately when all of that started. Are any of those, or what are some things that were implemented at the beginning that are still being used today, if any?
There's some as the different phases have come in that we've relaxed. Early on, we would not allow more than one person in a truck or a side by side within the plants we use for transportation. We've kind of eased that to now they can have one in the front seat, one in the back seat. They got to wear a mask if they're in a truck. If they're in the open air vehicles, they don't have to. Social distancing, we're still in place, but we have allowed, based upon the governor's recommendations of occupancy in a space, we are now, instead of 5 people, we're allowing 10 or more people in the break room. But I tell you, our biggest concern right now is people getting complacent. People are getting comfortable that, well, it didn't affect me, or it's not really that bad, and not doing the things we need to do that we know how to do. And that's a daily challenge. Definitely.
And I think we're probably still facing that too here. Tell us, what is one thing that you have learned or taken away from this entire experience personally?
You can never count on something always being the same.
I think that's very true.
Yeah. So many things that we had done and thought this is the only way we can do it, within days or weeks, we've found other ways to do it just as effectively.
Yeah. How has your day-to-day and your work changed, and at home, how has that all looked for you? What's your work like?
For me, early on, we took this building and we sent people that could work at home and allowed them to work. We also did some alternate schedules of where we just minimized the footprint in this building. But we were an essential business. Yeah. So based upon the guidelines, we had to continue to operate. And so I knew that our facilities all still are operating. All of our 1,200 team members were still needing to get to work to support their families and to support this essential business. Mm-hmm. And so I continued to come into the office every day, and I participated in meetings virtual and making a lot of phone calls, because I wanted the team members that were still coming to work to know I'm doing the same thing. So my work life really didn't change, except I spent about 7 weeks in this office and drove me crazy after a while. But other than that, it's kind of evolved a little closer to what used to be normal. For me personally, I've said pandemic is going to work me to death at home, because every weekend I would come up with a list of projects I had to do, and it just stuff I've been putting off for a long time. I got a lot of stuff done.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're not alone. I think that's probably the case for a lot of people. If we had to take away one positive, I'm sure that would be one of them. I guess on that note too, is there anything that you are personally really looking forward to doing or going to see or something like that when all of our restrictions are lifted eventually?
Yeah, just spending more quality time with children, grandchildren. It's understandable just being cautious, but that would be it.
Yeah, I think travel will be big and booming when we can get there.
Yeah, we have a place up at the lake in Arkansas. We went last weekend, and it was amazing how many people were up there camping and boating.
Oh yeah.
And we're seeing that because we sell wood to the RV industry, and they said they can't make campers or RVs fast enough.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense. You know, you don't want to go to a hotel or a condo where you don't know who's been there or how it's been cleaned. But if you have your own space and you can take it where you want, you know, people feel a lot more comfortable with that. And I think that is part of the cultural shift that we're going to see in travel in the near future.
Yeah, I think so too. I know the at least here, the fishing industry probably skyrocketed.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So, all right, Terry, I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me and our fans and followers here on our page. Do you have any parting words?
Wash your hands, social distance.
Definitely. And make sure you go visit the RoyOMartin Facebook page, like I said at the beginning, and watch the latest video, Terry and his wife. What's your wife's name?
Elisa.
They had a really great story that they are promoting for the virtual Relay for Life. So challenging you to participate in that. That's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We hope you have an amazing day. Thanks, Terry.
Thank you.